Us on the Paul Finebaum Show, hosted by Peter Burns today. The head coach of the Florida State Seminoles, 78-17 in 7 seasons. Jimbo Fisher. Coach, 7 seasons. Can you? It doesn't even hit me in the head that you've been down there in Tallahassee that long. How about you?
The same way. I mean, they've flown by, and like I say, people always say as you get older and older, things go faster and faster. And they definitely are. I was
going to say faster and faster. That's traditionally how fast you speak. Were you always a quick talker? Because I mean, no one ever wants to do a word count when I'm on the Finebaum Show because the transcript would be 1,000,000 pages long. But have you always been kind of that fast talker, fast
Always
guy?
have. I mean, you're always, in ball or coach, you're always in a hurry. You're always on a time clock. So, and then, hey, in the huddle when I was playing quarterback, you had 30 seconds to get the play off. And you have to tell about 4 guys what to do, so you got to make sure you talk fast.
You got to go. All right, you've been asked, in the offseason, we just got back from, I was covering SEC Media Days, and it's how much football can you really talk on July the 9th, right? Yep. I mean, it's tough because you guys haven't started practice. A lot of teams haven't done it either. So I'm going to go this way. I'm going to go a different curveball with you. What is the first job Jimbo Fisher ever had? Not coaching job. I'm talking the first time you ever collected a paycheck. What was it?
I understand it was coaching because I never collected. I lived on a farm and coached on. And my dad, my paycheck, he said, "You got food. You got a roof on your head. You got food on the table." Isn't that right? When everybody else used to get in line to get paid,
right?
He said, "You got a roof on your head and food on the table. That's your pay. Now go do it. Go get another job. Now get back to work."
What were you doing?
You name it. Swinging a scythe and cutting, as I say, cutting field the hay, running the tractor, putting up hay, building fence, dealing with chasing cows, putting cows in. Cutting cows. You name. Everything you do on a farm.
How did you have to do the insemination of cows?
No, we didn't inseminate, but we had to help them. We had to pull them and when they had them and things like that.
Did you? Was there something you learned from that? Doing every single thing in the fields out in the farms that you kind of took to when you were, hey man, I would much rather start coaching football.
But to me, a farmer is a significant of America. You reap what you sow. What you put into it is what you get out of it. And if you don't do it the right way and put hard work into it and be very detail-oriented and take care of your equipment, take care of your animals, take care of everything on the place, it deteriorated. And it was something that my dad taught me at a very, very young age.
What was the worst animal you had to deal with?
I don't know. We had cows, horses, pigs. You had everything. You had a few pigs, you just butcher one. They're mainly cows and horses my whole life.
Are you a person now being around it? Are you like, hey, I'm going to eat everything that's like straight from farm to table, or you're just like, no, I'm good. Just give me something good, chicken fried, and we're good.
I'm good.
What was that first coaching job that you had? The first time that you did collect that paycheck?
It was Stanford University. I was a quarterback coach right when I finished out of school.
What was that dollar amount?
I know this. I don't remember the exact dollar amount of that one. I became the offensive coordinator in 91 and 92, and we went to the national semifinals and national quarterfinals, and I was making $15,000 a year.
$15,000.
That was in 1991.
How did you do it? At what point do you sit there and go, yeah, I'm going to keep going down this line? That's
what's funny. I never thought another way. I really didn't care. I never coached for the money. I loved what I was doing and couldn't imagine being away from ball or not coaching. It was something that I really loved to do it. I mean it that way. And, of course, you wanted money and you wanted to do it, but at the same time, that's all right. That's the paycheck. We got to win. Let's go. I went to work. I never got into it for the money. I did it because I loved being around ball and played it as long as I could and wanted to coach.
What was the hardest? Was there a moment where you kind of looked and just says, I don't know if I could stick this out? Was there a tough time, or was it all just?
It's always tough times, and you didn't make it. But I never ever didn't think I was going to coach. Never.
Do you ever think that you'd be sitting here going, I got 8 months to get ready for Alabama, and arguably the biggest college football opening game of all time?
Oh, I know. It is kind of real. It's kind of surreal to you at times, and we've won national championships. We've won 78. All those types of things, they are. But, you lose yourself in the moment of what you do because it's what we've done our whole life, and it's just who you are now.
Are coaches ever present? Because I think, you're always looking past the next thing, and I would think that a lot of coaches are already planning for the next game. How hard is it to kind of stay in the moment and just go, hey, I'm kind of here and I'm enjoying this?
Well, I think you always are in the moment. I think I am always in. You're always looking forward, and you got to multitask. If coaching in this world is about multitasking right now and having plans and setups, but at the same time, if you ever are not where your feet are, That's when you're in trouble in coaching, because eventually you still have to make those daily decisions and those decisions based on that particular second that will win or lose games or make your organization or your team great.
All right, here on the Finebaum Show, I don't know if you know this, but there's a few Alabama listeners. They tend to be fans. What is the process of getting ready for the time? Do you already start kind of peeking at film now? I mean, how hard is it to not kind of look forward to already getting ready for that game?
Oh, we are having the spring. We do all of our games, but the preseason. I mean, it's not just that game, but I mean, as soon as that last season's over, evaluating what we did well, what we did poorly, and then we break down our first 4 opponents already in the spring, going into spring practice, or problems that we have with other teams that we work on in spring. We do that back in February and January. And things that you need to work on, you need to have that this team's doing this. We need to get this introduced to our team in the spring. All those types of things. Those are a year-round thing. I know everybody thinks because you're playing Alabama the opening game, but we do those things every year, no matter what.
What's your relationship like with Nick? I mean, you were with him down in Baton Rouge, and what was that like?
Very good. I mean, I loved working for him. Very hard. If you did your job, you had no problems. He was very detail-oriented. He was very driven. He and I had probably similar. We were very similar in the way we went about things, I thought. Got along really well, had a lot of respect for him, learned from him. Tremendous guy, tremendous coach, and still, we're still friends to this day.
Do you talk during the off season, or is
sometimes?
It like
I mean, when he's busy.
On?
No. When we see each other, we're very nice and talk, and sometimes we'll make phone conversation, different things like that. But we have a great relationship.
What's it about, like the boat, fishing? I mean, what is the typical Jimbo Nick Saban conversation?
It's usually more ball or what's going on or what's coming out in the world. Not a lot of those at times, because when I do get my time, I go with my kids and he goes with his family. But I mean, to sit around and have a conversation with him is very easy. He and I communicate very easily.
I guess I don't know if he's going to communicate with you, but DeAndre Francois, because he's probably going to need as many tips as possible with getting ready for that young man. What does DeAndre need to do to get ready for this Alabama defense this year?
Well, I think he has to dot his I's and cross his T's, because you're going to get attacked in different ways, and he's going to break down things that we did poorly last year and try to re-attack those and take away the strengths and the things that are very good. And he's going to have to be – DeAndre's way he's going to have to do is be complete from A to Z and understand the weaknesses of certain coverages, the weaknesses of certain fronts, how we're running the ball, and understand ball. But we teach that way. We teach a lot of concepts, and we put a lot on those guys. So he's just going to have to be prepared like he does for any other game.
What weakness does Florida State have right now that you need to just kind of shore up a little bit in fall?
I think everything. And I know that sounds like coach, because you're still developing the idea of this team. You just added 20 or 25 new freshmen to a team and a group of guys that probably had things down pretty good. So that's going to always disrupt what goes on, what happens, the depth, the practice things, and absorb them into the team and where they can help and make immediate impacts and do those things. I think in all phases. We're far from a complete team, and that's why we got summer and camp to get ready.
You get ready for it, and you're getting ready for FSU. I know a lot of LSU fans were kind of hoping that Jimbo Fisher would be a head coach down in Baton Rouge. It's something that was talked about. How close was that the situation to being a reality?
Not. They never really. Came in like like everyone on the media and everything. That was never out there really. In a serious mode, from my understanding.
What kind of job is that for down there at LSU?
Oh, it's a great job. It's a great place. My 2 kids were born there. That's a phenomenal place. You have a state full of players. You have a history and tradition down there. You have people who are passionate about their program. They put their money in their program. They want to win. They want to be good. It's a tremendous place and a great place to live and raise children.
I love it. I got a chance to host the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl Challenge, and it's SEC coaches versus ACC coaches on the golf course, and these guys are always out there having fun, ribbing each other. How is that kind of transform onto the football field, a much bigger stage, obviously, and you could argue a much more important stage? Where is ACC compared to SEC right now?
I don't say just SEC. I think anywhere in the country. I think the ACC is as fine a league as there is. The history in the last 4 to 5 years. You've won 2 national championships. You've played in 3 of the 4. You've had 2 Heisman winners. Think about this. You had Lamar Jackson, Deshaun Watson, 2 of the greatest quarterbacks in college football, and weren't even the highest quarterback drafted in your conference, Mitch Trubisky. Head-to-head matchups with the other leagues, all the leagues. And, the coaching, the fluctuation of coaches into our league, big-time quality coaches. You have 6 of the top 20 of all time in winning percentage and all the things that go on. You're 8-3 and playoff games and New Year's 6 games in the last 4 to 5 years. 5 years, you're 8-3 in those games. So I think, listen, I'm not downing any league. I just think the ACC is as good as any league out there right now.
All right, I said the last one, the most hard-hitting question. I hope you're ready for this one. If you could do a cameo in any one television show of all time, Jimbo, I'm talking of all time. I don't care when it was. We can put Jimbo Fisher in the middle of this television show. Jimbo Fisher is making a cameo in what?
Wow, that's a great question. I like a sitcom type situation.
I can put you in Seinfeld, I Love Lucy, Game of Thrones. Coach, you are the man. You get to call it right here, right now.
Probably Cheers.
Yes.
Probably Cheers.
Be sitting next to Norm? Or would you be behind the bar with would you be talking to Cliff?
I don't know where I would be all over the place. But, I mean, Cheers was just I love Cheers. I thought it was a phenomenal show.
Well, cheers to you. Best of luck this season, Coach. I hope it's a very competitive game between you and Alabama and Florida State. And I appreciate the time today, all right?
Thank you.
There he is, head coach, Florida State Seminoles. And, man, that one day would make a cameo in Cheers if it ever comes back. Coach Jimbo Fisher.